I'm going to take you back in time to over a year ago now in December 2023. I had lost all my gains. I wasn't keeping up with any of the self-improvement habits that I just built up over the past year or anything. I kind of stopped for through the whole year, which led me to December 2023, where I kind of just looked like shit. I lost all my gains. The only thing I was really doing in the gym was kind of the strength work. I wasn't doing any of the bodybuilding work or any of the dieting that got me the physique that I actually enjoyed previously. So not only did I lose my gains, but like I said, I wasn't keeping up with the self-improvement, so my mental health wasn't the best either. It was slowly deteriorating, or not even slowly, it was rapidly deteriorating. I was actually depressed. I was going through a lot of hard times back then. I lost somebody close to me as well, or was in the process of losing somebody close to me. So it just piled on. Everything was starting to pile on, and it was just, life was handing me a big shit sandwich. Like I said, I was depressed. But luckily for me, I had started self-improvement previously and I had just fallen off. This is when I knew I needed to create a course of action that was going to get me back on track and get me ahead of where I was previously, and just get me out of this slump and out of this negative mindset, because I already knew what needed to be done. My name is Blake, and if you're not already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I want to take a quick moment to shout out to everybody that subscribed to this channel so far. I thank you so much for your support, because we did in fact reach our goal. If you can see up there, it said 50 subscribers for January. We crushed that goal, and it's thanks to each and every one of you. So if you're not already, February is coming up. We're going to create a new goal, but go ahead and subscribe now anyways. And let's just keep getting better together. Which you can also follow me on Instagram, linked in the description below. At the end of this video, I'll show you some of the workout motivation that I'll be posting on there, so you can see what you're missing out on. So once I put these steps into action, the results just started coming in. They were flying in. Like it just happened just like that. I mean, it's not overnight, obviously, but you kind of put your head down, do the work, and you just look up, all of a sudden, boom, you're handsome again. So this is going to be my exact step-by-step guide to go from beta cuck to alpha Chad, handsome as hell in 2025. Now, these glow ups are going to be possible for anybody. Literally anybody can do it. We all have the potential. So don't let any black pill, beta cucks, incel motherfuckers convince you that it's not possible for you too, because I promise you it is. As long as you follow all these steps in this video, you will become the most handsome guy you possibly can. The first thing you and I are going to go over is going to be the most overlooked aspect of probably looks maxing, self-improvement, maybe just life in general, because people just don't talk about it enough. And when they do talk about it, they don't talk about the right things, and that is going to be your mental health. Your mental health is going to be your top priority. Without your mental health, you can't do anything, right? If you want to be able to accomplish anything in life, you're going to need to believe that you're capable of doing it first. And this is going to be especially true with your glow up. And this is because your self-image is equal to your world image. You need to understand that your self-image is the exact same as the world's image of you. As a matter of fact, how you view yourself dictates how the world is going to view you, because when you view yourself as a successful person, somebody that's going to be high value and all those other things, you're going to act in those ways as well, which is going to reflect in the world. That's when the world's going to treat you like that, because you're giving off that kind of aura. I know kids nowadays talk about aura, like, oh, he has his aura, blah, blah, blah. When they say that, they're not talking about how you look or anything like that. They're talking about how you act, like the way you present yourself, the kind of charisma and confidence that you bring into the room whenever you walk in. And this is achieved through your mental health. Because again, you already have to believe that you're that guy. Nobody accidentally, with bad mental health and all depressed and stuff, just is accidentally that guy and walks into a room and everybody kind of feels presence and looks over like, oh, who's that? Nobody. That happens to nobody that's depressed and has poor mental health. That happens only to the people that have worked on these things, or just have just always had good mental health and can continue like just believing in themselves. So the first thing you need to do is just fix your mental health, along with like, you can kind of categorize it as general self-improvement too, like just doing your basic things like meditating, reading, going outside more, reducing your screen time, because that's a big thing that's a big thing nowadays. It's just always being on that gosh dang phone. You know, we're all victim to it. So lowering your screen time is going to be absolutely essential, and getting out in nature like a lot more. Think about this. When was the last time that you've actually touched grass with your bare hands or with your bare feet too? Because you need to be doing stuff like grounding like that too, and just running outside. Like, probably hasn't been since you were a little kid, because we're all just self-absorbed, self-interested, just narcissistic people, just ignoring everybody else out there, just ignoring nature and stuff, just always glued to our phones like this, giving ourselves double chins instead of just being outside enjoying, what God gave us. And no one's going to tell you this. Like most looks maxing YouTubers, especially looks maxing influencers, they're not going to tell you this because that's not going to get them views. It's not going to get them clicks to their courses and stuff like that. And yeah, this might hurt my views, might hurt my course sales and stuff like that, but it's worth it because I actually that's what actually produced the biggest change for me. And I don't care if it's a sacrifice I have to make getting like less views and stuff. It's like, this is what's actually going to work for you. I actually want you to know this because this is what's actually going to help. They want to keep you insecure and stuff and oh, you need to worry about the zygote pushing and thumb pulling, blah, 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 because that's going to be the only way that you're attractive to girls or anybody in the world. The first thing first is going to be your mental health. If they told you to fix your mental health first, you're not going to be as insecure. You're actually going to make progress, and then you're not going to need them anymore. But I don't want that for you because I hated those feelings. I hated when I used to feel like that. I hated feeling insecure, jealous, and envious of other people. And I had to change it. So I think you need to change it too. And just go ahead and work on that mental health. That's going to be the first step to glowing up. So once your mental health is in order, then it's time to actually start doing the real deal tasks that are going to get you to be physically more attractive. The first thing is going to be to optimizing the gym. If you're watching self-improvement videos like this, I'm going to assume that you're already in the gym a little bit, and that's good. However, like I was at the end of 2023, like I showed in the start of the video, you need to optimize it because you're probably not doing the right thing. So first thing I did was optimize my diet and my training. And this is where things like social media can come in handy because it makes it really easy to find out what does and doesn't work. But at the same time, it kind of clouds it because there's a ton of influencers all saying different sides and different things. But basically, you can kind of sift through the bullshit and you just got to get used to kind of figuring out what does and doesn't work. The easiest way to assume this is just you kind of know what's right. The person that's telling you, oh, if it fits your macros, calories in versus calories out, I can still eat pizza. That's probably not true. It's not really going to work for you, and you're just going to be a little doughboy forever if you just keep doing that and just have a shit physique. I mean, you can kind of generally just assume if it's hard, if it's something that you don't want to do, it's probably the right thing to do. So when you're optimizing your diet and training, you need to be for diet, obviously you need to be just cut out the processed foods. You need to start test maxing, doing things to maximize your testosterone and your health, because that's inadvertently just going to transform your physique just like that. I promise you, just doing that alone is going to have drastic changes on your physique and your mental health, because as your testosterone goes up, you're going to feel a lot better as well. It's just going to make your life quality that much better. Same thing with your training. All you really need to do is if you want to keep one thing in mind, is train hard as hell and take at least 70 to 80% of what you're doing to failure. Every single session, you can hit some sort of PR, whether it be weight or reps, right? And it does not mean risk it so you hurt yourself, because like I said, it can be reps too. Just go for that extra rep and just train to failure and push yourself past that limit, because that's really what's going to get you there. Another thing is going to be trying new forms of exercise. When I first discovered self-improvement, there's this little mountain near my house that you can go for a hike at, and I started going basically every day with my friend that was also into self-improvement at the time, and we were both starting to get into it, and this became our stomping grounds. We went there almost every single day, and it was just kind of this really fun thing that we would do, and it was really nice because we were out in nature and stuff like that, and it was good for our mental health as well as our physiques, because walking is one of the best things that you can probably do in order to burn calories without stretching yourself out, because running can lower your testosterone. Sprinting and walking can actually boost your testosterone and burn fat, but that's a story for another time. Another thing, especially in terms of the actual plan of action that I did to 2023, that instead of just doing the walking all the time, because I didn't have enough time to go for the hikes all the time, I started a new form of exercise, and that was MMA and jiu-jitsu, and it's been a crazy ride. I literally fell in love with the sport because it's honestly so fun, and I just had a really good time learning it. I got inspired by seeing people like Andrew Tate and stuff. They were world champions once, so it made me want to get into this and learn how to fight and how to defend myself in situations. And it ended up being a really good form of exercise, and probably my favorite cardio that I could possibly do. I used to hate running, but now I run with the guys in the MMA, and I love it, dude. It's it makes cardio easy, it makes exercising easy. I love how hard they like push you in there, and it's honestly made me more disciplined with my weightlifting as well, and pushing past that failure limit like we talked about. And those three things alone have gotten me to the best I've ever looked. Optimizing your diet, optimizing your training, and trying new forms of exercise every once in a while. Like, those things have gotten me to the best I ever looked, and they're something that you need to incorporate immediately and start doing. So our next course of action is going to be looks maxing. For looks maxing, I used to only do two things, and that was the gym and mewing. It wasn't until I implemented this plan that I started doing some of the other things, and I'm even adding to it now as I learn more about it. Some stuff that you probably already heard of from the other looks maxer influencers, and some that you probably haven't. I kind of bet that you probably haven't, but I'll talk about some more of the techniques and stuff in other videos and stuff like that. But what you need to do is start looks maxing, because looks maxing is not about being like the most attractive person in the entire world. It's just about maxing out your genetic potential, and we all have the genetic potential to at least become an 8 or 9 out of 10. An 8 or 9 out of 10, that's really good. That's going to get you like anywhere. You can get in the top 1%. Like, we all have the genetic potential basically to get in the top 1%. You do, I do. And, you know, I'm working on it, so you might as well too. Like, just go ahead and start this process. Looks maxing is going to be the easiest way to get you there, just like that. You know, the gym is kind of included in looks maxing, but there's a lot more to it that you could be doing other than, like, don't make the mistake I made when I first started my looks maxing journey, and that was just mewing, like mewing in the gym. Like I said, it wasn't until I discovered like real self-improvement that I also discovered like more advanced techniques for looks maxing. Like, there were a lot of years that I wasted not implementing this stuff already, like, but I had put years and years and years into researching this ever since then, and it's just made my attraction and my life just grow exponentially. If you don't feel like scouring the internet for years trying things that may or may not work like I did, then you can go ahead and check the link in the description for my looks maxing course. I'm constantly updating it, so if you want to read about it or suggest some things that you want to see included in the course, you can with the link in the description below. Again, no pressure, but it might be able to help you out. The last thing that's going to help you glow up is going to be learning, non-stop learning. I heard a quote that went something like this: a wise man knows that he knows nothing. So you always need to be constantly searching for new knowledge and new things that maybe like destroy beliefs that you currently had, and just like keep constantly learning about different things. And by that, I don't mean like just learning about anything random, like, oh, learning about like how they landed on the moon if you're not even interested in anything related with space. Your career doesn't have anything to do with astronauts or shit like that. Learn about things that you actually want to know about. Like, I want to know about self-improvement. I bought tons of self-improvement books and stuff like that, especially reading. Reading is one of the biggest things that I think is going to be fantastic for you. But like I said, I wanted to know about self-improvement. I started looking up self-improvement YouTubers, watching their videos to see who I liked, see who I agreed with, and see whose advice helped the most. I started getting a bunch of books on self-improvement, like Way of Superior Man, 48 Laws of Power, etc. Just kind of surrounded myself in that environment. Same thing with MMA. As soon as I started going to the MMA classes, started watching UFC more, learning more about the sport, learning about the history of the sport, learning about like different techniques, how different body types work with each other, etc. Like, you need to do that for whatever you're interested in. And this is going to make you an attractive person, because you're going to learn a lot, and you're going to become more intellectual type of person. And you're going to become more well-versed, more well-spoken, especially if you take up the reading. You're going to become a lot more well-spoken if you're doing things like that. If you are learning about the things that you want to become good at, then you are going to become the best at those things. Like, the other people that you're in competition with, they aren't doing that much. They aren't researching it like you are. So if you're researching that stuff, you are going to be the best in that field. You're going to be the #1 guy. And that's what we want for you. I took up things like I said, reading was a big thing. Learning languages, that can be like a really good thing too. Just get you out of your comfort zone and start experiencing more cultures and stuff like that. Like, I started learning Spanish. Yo necesito más practicar, pero mi español es más o menos. It's something that I'm working on, but it's getting there, and it's just really opened my eyes up to the whole world around me. Because a lot of times we get caught in this little bubble of our like small town that we grew up in, all the same people that we know already and stuff. We don't think about the bigger picture, how much bigger the world actually is, until you start doing things like that, start getting more knowledge, like learning another language and stuff. Just really opens your eyes to like the possibilities, right? But that's going to be my general step-by-step guide, a kind of overview of what I did in order to glow up and how you are going to glow up in 2025. Let me know if this helped you in the comments below. And remember, be better than you were yesterday.
I feel lost.
Lost? What do you mean?
Something's happening. I'm not the Jedi I should be. I want more. And I know I shouldn't.